So coming to you live, just checking out how everybody's doing on Sunday afternoon. Coming to you live about this book, The Gap and the Game. And so, in the midst of reading this, and just want to get out there and just start discussing what I'm finding in it. And man, it's just been crazy, crazy helpful. I love the fact that it's showing me how to have a more positive attitude, how to have a more positive life, and recognizing my need to get away from complaining, get away from focusing on uh, all the things that I wish were happening, but yet are happening. So what happens is, and I'll get into it. So what happens is you start life and you end up focusing on um, what could be, what should be, what I wish happened, and rather than really getting to focus and enjoy the true happiness you have now. So by measuring yourself, and if you saw the few short videos I posted on Reels or on Facebook or on TikTok, and I can post a link, or you can go to just follow me, and you can go and see them. But it talks about your start position, uh, what you've achieved, and then your ideal, which would be like where you wish you were. So your starting was basically 90 days ago, where you set a goal, and then what you actually achieved, and then you know where you wish you were. And what ends up happening a lot of times is we've all set goals for our lives, and or set goals, and you actually achieve a goal, right? You actually achieve something, but you end up measuring it against your ideal, which you wish would have happened. And it could be something as simple as like this live that I'm posting now. And maybe it's I wish I had more engagement, or whatever the case may be, or I wish thousands of people liked it and watched it and saw it and were online with me right now. But by doing that, I mean, it just robs you of what actually is happening. And the fact is I'm doing a live video, and you know, be honest with you, it can be intimidating, it can be scary for some, but the fact I'm doing it, and I'm doing a live video, and I'm just putting myself out there and being vulnerable on what's going on in my life. And so that's the reality. And so if you see the short videos, um, by living in the gap, I'll just kind of list what happens by living in the gap. In the book, it talks about by living there and focusing more on what you wish would have happened and wish you were. Man, you just live. You're missing out on living in the moment. And you know, let's see. I'm gonna just look at you real quick. It leads to unhappiness. It leads to frustration. And how many people have you been? Frustrated, even though you've achieved something, where most people would look at it and go, man, you were successful. That was rock and roll. But yet you're still frustrated, right? Or you're just not happy with what's happening. And the problem is you're measuring it the wrong way. And it's our culture. I get it. It's our culture. We need that instant gratification. We need, and it's also social media, to be honest, too. It's comparing yourself with other people. And you can't. It's your race, it's your deal. So focus on where you want to be and what you want, and not what other people want for you. That's another one that's really tough, right? Because family or friends or yourself or your parents are going to put expectations on you that's not your expectations. Whether you're in sports, I mean, you could apply this to sports, you could apply this to your small business, you could apply this just to things in your life, school, and they have expectations for you. Your teachers will have expectations, your parents, your coach, and you got to live up to your expectation, your goals, what you're trying to do. That's where you're going to find true happiness. Because if you start trying to live up to other people's expectations, you'll never meet them. And so you'll always be what he calls in the gap, in the book, In the Gap and the Game. So let me kind of give you an example, right? So an example is, if you measure yourself against an ideal versus um, where you actually achieve, then you'll never win the race. You'll never be there. So he says here, comparison is similar to making every experience negative. Whenever you compare yourself, every experience that happens is going to be negative. So here's an example. Say your goal was 50. Let's just make it simple. Say your goal was 50 and you got to 42. Now, if you focus on the 8 you're short, that's going to lead to all the things I talked about: frustration, unhappiness, low self-esteem, low confidence. But if you focus on the 42, because you started out at zero, nothing, and you got 42, right? So you made a movement. You moved the needle extremely a lot. You moved the needle. And so by doing that, right, by moving the needle, now you can focus on the 42 you got. Man, that's going to give you confidence. It's going to give you excitement. Going to give you high self-esteem. You're going to be, you're going to be, man, I got 42. I'm rocking this thing. 8, whatever. 50 was a goal, but I got 42. And so by doing that, man, you're going to be excited about the next goal, right? So who says you're not going to say, okay, I'm going to do 100. My goal was 50. Now I'm going to set it to 100. You may come in again at 96. But if you focus on the 96 that you went from 42 to 96, you follow what I'm saying, you're going to focus on what you actually achieved. And you're going to have confidence. You're going to have excitement. You won't be frustrated with yourself. And it's going to help you move to the next goal. And what's going to happen is you're going to have these continued positive reinforcement on what you're doing and how you're successful. And by doing that, you'll move the needle much faster. Because if not, if you focused on just the 8, and so I had that goal of 50, and I got to 42, and I got to 8. I didn't get 8. I missed it by 8. Well, by doing that, do you think you're going to try and go to 100? No, you're going to be disappointed. I'm not going to set myself up for another disappointment and try and get to 100 when I was 8 shy before. You see what I'm saying? So that's totally negative. It's totally against anything that you're going to accomplish. But by focusing on the 42, what you actually accomplished is going to happen. So I'm not going to be on here too much longer, but I just wanted everybody to see that every experience, when you're in the game, when you're focusing on the 42, every experience becomes a positive. So if you focus on actually what you achieve, let's just say, my wife and I go to the movies, or we're going to go to see a play. And we're going to the play and we're driving along, and we don't go to plays that often. So if we were going to the play, that's a really cool deal. But if all of a sudden we're stuck in traffic and I start focusing in on the traffic and my gosh, we're going to be late and da 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 da, I'm totally going to miss the fact that we're going to a play together. We're going out on a date. We're going to do something different that we don't normally do. And I'm totally missing the opportunity and the happiness and the joy of the moment, right? So again, focus on what you're doing, focus on the actual accomplishments, what's happening, and it'll totally change your mindset. You'll have a positive life and a positive attitude. And matter of fact, people are going to want to be around you more, right? Because who wants to be around a complainer? Who wants to be around a whiner? Who wants to be around someone that all they ever do is focus on the negative? Most people don't. So I'm going to leave you with this, and I'm going to leave you with this quote. And it says, if you focus on what you lack, you'll lose what you have. But if you focus on what you have, you'll gain what you lack. And I'll leave it with that. So God bless you guys. I so hope you pick up this book and you start reading it with me, because that's just like we're scratching the surface. But I hope you'll pick it up and start reading it with me. Comment below. I'm in the Gap if you're going to be, reading the Gap with me, and if you're excited about it, and if there's some things that you're in the Gap about, or you have some concerns or questions, or hey, I'm in the Gap, this and that, man, reach out to me, DM me, or comment, and be glad to help. My gosh, this is a journey together. Never feel like you have to be doing something on your own. I love to help. And again, like, share, and comment. It could be people that really need to hear this and really need to be a part of this whole process. And so if you know someone, share it with them. And appreciate all your help. I appreciate all your support and love. And God bless you guys on this beautiful Sunday. And have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll talk to you real soon. Take care.